For the better part of a decade, Taylor Phinney was the most popular active American pro cyclist, and is still one of the most popular retired figures in the sport. Coming from a lineage of top-level talent, it was inevitable Phinney would reach the top levels of the sport and see success before bowing out, pursuing a more artistic and ultimately fulfilling life. While he was on the bike, he was a prolific competitor, a strong time trialist, and America's best hope at a Classics win, which never materialized, but these 4 huge wins did. Phinney got his start on the boards of a velodrome, specializing in the pursuit disciplines, perhaps the purest test of power that cycling offers. After just 1.5 years, and at just 18 years of age, Phinney is competing for the gold medal in the 4-kilometer pursuit at the 2009 World Championships. When Bradley Wiggins, the defending world champion, decided to not race this year's event, Phinney knew he had a golden opportunity to do something that hadn't been done in 13 years: win a men's track world championship for America. He smashes it, winning by over 2 seconds, setting a new American record in the process. It doesn't feel like any of this has really happened, but I kind of feel like it was something that is meant to be. This is when more attention really started to pour onto Phinney. Magazines were starting to cover him more. He was already riding for Lance Armstrong's development squad, Team Livestrong, and they were waiting to see how this track power would translate on the road, when that breakthrough win would happen. It was just a year later when Phinney would take his first professional road win. We're at the 2010 Tour of Utah, its 2nd edition. It hasn't yet risen to be one of the top races in the country, but it's damn close. The prologue is less than 5 kilometers long, perhaps the best possible distance for Phinney, an opportunity for him to showcase his raw power over a short distance. He was only named as a starter for the team at this race yesterday, and he and his teammate Alex Dowsett are 2 of the favorites on the day. Dowsett being the reigning under-23 European time trial champion. On the day, though, it was Phinney storming to the win by 3 seconds, finishing in 6 minutes and 2 seconds. Not that it was easy. Sometimes in cycling, you feel like you have a perfect day, and today was not like that at all. I was in so much pain. It was a good course that suited me. A short prologue and coming off the track in the individual pursuit suited me. It definitely was not easy at all. He earned kudos from one of the top American contenders in the sport, Levi Leipheimer. It is awesome. They are the junior team of Team Radio Shack, and those are the guys that are going to move up in the ranks and be the future stars of US cycling. I think they will be great ambassadors of the sport. I am happy to see that. Phinney has moved up in the cycling world, now racing at the World Tour level with Team BMC. He's starting the 2012 Giro d'Italia. This is his 2nd go at a Grand Tour after the 2011 Vuelta. He DNF'd that race, but did take 5th on a time trial stage, so he's proven his talent can hang in with the top guys. Today's stage is a picture-perfect opportunity. The opening round of the Giro is an 8.7 kilometer flat time trial in Denmark. The winner will pull on the Maglia Rosa, and theoretically will have a few days in it before the race hits the mountains. On course, Phinney is clearly flying. There's always a few riders in the peloton that you can look at and know that they've got an insane amount of power. Phinney is one of them, with perfect form perfected from racing on the velodrome, carving through the air. The former American national champion on the verge of the biggest win of his career, and he smashes it. He wins by 9 seconds, a relative crushing of opponents over a short distance like this. Phinney pulls on the Maglia Rosa and does hold it for a few days. There was never any delusion that Phinney could be a general classification guy, but after results like this and wins at the U23 Paris-Roubaix, there is definitely a hope that he could become an American version of Fabian Cancellara. That never materialized. 2 days after winning the 2014 USA Time Trial National Championship, he was competing in the road race. On the first descent off of Lookout Mountain, Phinney crashed, fracturing his left leg, putting the future of his career in doubt at the age of just 23. This forced time off the bike caused Phinney to reassess a lot of things, fall in love with making art, and have a more worldly perspective on what is the very narrow mindset in bike racing. And this was a great thing for him on a personal, human level. And it certainly didn't mean that he stopped competing or winning. Over a year later, and Phinney is back competing at one of the newest American stage races, the 2015 USA Pro Cycling Challenge. He just finished the Tour of Utah as well, taking third on a very tough opening day, and on a non-time trial stage as well. Here, stage 1 is a circuit race, 2 laps on a long course around Steamboat Springs. Inside the final kilometer, there is one brave rider from Team Drapic dangling off the front. Behind, United Healthcare is trying to chase him, but they are rapidly burning up their team, which means they will have no one to close out the final few hundred meters. Phinney knows this, and on the far right of the road, out of frame, he starts to wind up his sprint. I caught Taylor's wheel with maybe 400 meters, and he was shooting up the side in pursuit style like he does. I thought this will be an awesome lead out, but then I had a bump with a few riders who were fighting me for his wheel. Bookwalter then sat up just enough for a gap to form. Not that Phinney needed it. He looked like Mark Cavendish had grown a foot taller with the speed he was carrying. 14 months on from his crash, knee taped up, Phinney roars across the line, a passionate celebration of pure emotion. I was pretty much blown away crossing the finish line. I think it's going to take a little while to process fully. I can tell you, the feeling of crossing the finish line and the roar of the crowd was really special and really emotional. It was kind of that electric moment we all live for. Phinney would retire in 2019 and is still one of the most fascinating and beloved figures to come out of the sport of cycling, and is evidence of how multi-talented and interesting humans